Hello my fellow adventurers, welcome back to Living the Grand Adventure. I'm Kevin. Finally made it back on trail, guys. It is June 18th, just about the beginning of summer, and I have made my way back to the Charles C Deam Wilderness. Going to do a solo trip here over the next few days. See how many days it takes to do the amount of mileage I'm wanting to do, because I haven't been on trail for a while. I do apologize about that. Thank you for staying with me and bearing with me. I did have a few personal items and things that actually occurred at home that I had to take care of over the last couple months. And in doing so, I really wasn't able to get back out on trail until now. But everything's kind of opened back up. Got all of our situations kind of squared away. And we should be able to get you some more videos definitely going forward this summer. Been wanting to come back out here for a while, and I chose this as my first trip this summer after the little hiatus, because Alex and I really did enjoy being out here that little overnighter we had back at the end of March. I shouldn't even be on the trail that we were on last time that we were here, because the direction I'm going, I'm heading more towards the northern end of the trail system, and that trail is actually on the southern end. I mean, unless I get in here and I'm really doing some fast miles and I've got some time, which I may very well be able to do, because this trip, my base weight is actually below 12 pounds. I've cut it way back. Feeling pretty nice. Been making a series of switchbacks down into this valley here that I figure I'll probably have to do coming out my last day, but that's fine. You know, where you go down, you do have to go up. We should be able to at least camp one night by the lake. I'm hoping to camp by a pond. Actually, I'm hoping to get to a pond tonight. There's a couple of ponds on the eastern side of the trail system, and I'm hoping to get to at least one of those for the night, and that's where I'm hoping to camp tonight. But we'll see. But yes, my pack is actually, counting camera equipment and everything, still right around the 20-pound mark, which I think is pretty good counting camera equipment, water, food, and everything else, all my consumables. I'm using an alcohol stove this time. You guys have seen that on trail before with me, the Red Camp alcohol stove. I'm using that this trip. Kind of gotten to where I kind of like the idea of an alcohol stove versus a fuel canister. Seems to be lighter, and I kind of like it just quieter. You know, it's just much more quiet on trail when you're setting up. It is 4 o'clock now. I've been on trail maybe 15-20 minutes, and you know, we've got plenty of time to get over here. I'm hoping to get 6 to 8 miles in today, depending on how I'm feeling. It's not super warm today. I mean, it's low 80s, so not hot. It's just really good and warm. If I'm still here, well, I will be here Friday regardless, because on Friday that'll either be my last day or I'll be here till Saturday. Today is Wednesday, depending on how fast I do the trail. That's the whole idea there. But if I'm happen to be here on Friday and hike the whole day, regardless, I'm going to see temperatures in the mid-90s. So that will be a very warm day. That's one reason I'm kind of thinking more than likely I won't be going home till Saturday, just because of the heat. I don't really like hiking in super high heat. It's not very conducive to your health, you know. So, but we'll see how I'm feeling. You know, this whole area is forested, so you know, it's not like I'm gonna be in the sun. Still making my way down into the valley here. It's been a pretty good trek. If you notice, that's way up there. It's gonna be interesting on the other side to come back out of. From the topo map, it doesn't look like it's going to be quite as steep. It's more of a gradual, so I'm hoping that's what happens on our day out. But for now, we're just gonna get down in here and see what we see and move as fast as possible without injury or cramping or anything like that. So I finally made it down that incline. That's a pretty hefty little hike there, guys. Not really too bad though, because of course I was going down Sure, I've got an up coming up over here. But I'm down on the forest floor here, basically. Dried up creek bed right here. I hope that doesn't indicate that I'm gonna have trouble finding water this trip, but we'll see. I don't know if you hear up above me and in the distance a lot of cicadas. I know I'd read reports that there was supposed to be some type of an awakening, and it's like every 17 years, something like that. And I'm hearing this, and it's like, wow. I kind of remember hearing that as a kid when I was in Scouts, but kind of subtracting back a couple of 17s, it kind of makes sense. Oh, and it's pretty buggy down this valley. Got a little bit of flowing water right here, just a trickle. That's a good sign. Hopefully it won't be completely dried out this trip. Be enough I could absolutely get some water if I absolutely had to, but I think that was a buzzard or something up in the air. It's very, very tight right through here. I may regret not having worn a pair of pants, but it was supposed to be so hot this trip. I was kind of worried about that. I do have a lightweight pair of hiking pants that I use basically for winter and summer. I just layer it during the winter heavily. But it's got a nice little area. I mean, it's definitely woods. Very noisy. I hope it's not like this throughout the night. A little bridge right here. See, very, very dry. Very dry. Because I don't even see any water over that direction. So I'm hoping that's not something I'm going to have to contend with this trip. Of course, the areas I do have marked on my map are supposed to be reliable year-round sources. And it's not like, you know, it's been extremely dry this spring. In fact, you know, there's been 2 or 3 nice bands of showers that have come through this area, you know, of course, heading into Ohio where I live. So, to see it that dry, it's interesting. Just a little bit of pond water. Maybe okay. Probably nothing to worry about, but it's always on the back of your mind, you know, when you get in these areas and it's starting to move into the summer months and you're looking at a day in the 90s, you've got to worry about water because that's your number one contention. I mean, I have food, I have shelter, I have everything else with me. I can't produce water unless I can find it somewhere on trail. So that's why you do your research, and that's what I've done. So let's cross our fingers that my research is good, because a lot of that was actually valid as of last year or so. Very tight trail right through here, which is only the case when you get down next to the creeks and then in the valleys, and then it'll open back up as you get up on the ridges, which we will be doing some ridges. But it's just nice to be out and about, guys. I believe this is the Axiom Trail, and I'm about 1.25 miles into it. I'll put the spelling on the screen so you guys can see it. But it's not. It's literally, once I come down that decline from the trailhead where the car's at, it's been straight up flat walking through this valley. It's been very, very easy so far. I mean, I know I've got an incline coming up because I'm going up to, I believe it's called Trekology Ridge. T-E-R-R-I-L-L, and of course the name in itself says ridge, so we know we got an incline coming up, but this has just been overgrown, walking pretty flat, just having to watch a little bit of stinging nettle on the sides, and occasionally you get a thorn bush poking across the trail that you just brush aside and keep going. But yeah, I mean, this has been fairly easy, pretty nice woods walk through so far. I should have a little bit more difficult trails coming up, especially tomorrow and Friday for sure. More difficult, but also longer distance too. I'm just shooting, like I said, to get over to one of these ponds today and just sit up and try to have a decent night. Maybe do a small fire. But see, the trail, I mean, it's well marked and it's here, but you do have a little bit of overgrowth, but not too bad. Nothing to complain about. It's just summertime in the woods, guys. Summertime on the trail. That's the sign, so we're on the right path. And it did say that you can actually ride horses on these trails. At least this particular trail, you have to have a permit. I think it was $5 a day or $35 for an annual. But I'm not really seeing a lot of rutting where there have been a lot of horses up through here, at least. Of course, I made that comment when we were here before. You know, we even parked at the trailhead where the horse camp was. And just not seeing a lot of prints, you know, that are horses. See a lot of shoe prints, boot prints, things like that. But I believe the next time we see a division is when we'll next see an amount of incline, or maybe just before that next division, which should be, I'll have to look at the map, but I believe it's, I know it runs from the Axiom to the Terrell Ridge, and I think the Grubb Ridge loop may connect there. So this may actually have an incline at the end of this trail up to those two trails. A sign saying the trail goes this way. Okay, it's pretty evident. Actually, I bet you there's a redirect. I bet you the trail's over there. At one point in time, they brought it around this big down tree. A little bit more water. So I don't think I'm gonna be like really bad off for water. It just may not be as prevalent as it would be, like, say, in April or even early May, mid-May. Well, this is a nice little area right here. I'll keep my eye out and see if I see a sight. Because like I said, once again, here in the Charles C Deam Wilderness, you can disperse camp. There is a trail over there. Hang on, I've got to check. Make sure I'm going the right way. So I think I figured out where the trail goes. Looks like it comes over here, heading back this direction. Yeah, it comes around. I do believe we're going to start up an incline very shortly. As I'm slapped back up against this here. And in fact, if you notice, it's starting going up right there. I don't know if that's the beginning of the incline or if that's just going to be like just a, you know, like a little up and maybe a down. But I've got a feeling we're going to be climbing this shortly, guys. Which is cool. Time to get the blood pumping. I've been out here a mile and a half. Start up these hills here. Let's see what we see as we get a little bit further into this. Yeah, it looks like it might get a little flat for a minute. They do switch back a lot here, at least from our experience over in the other area. And so far I've seen that quite a bit already here. Yeah, if you notice, not much of an incline, and then immediately a switchback. And it's gonna start going up. So I'm gonna get off here and breathe up this in the heat. It's pretty humid and getting pretty hot. I should maybe get some cell signal up here. I'll be able to tell you what the temperature is. But for now, I'm gonna get on up this hill, guys. Well, like I've always said, what goes down must come up in the world of hiking. I was down there in that valley pretty much all day that I've been here, and I just now climbed out of it. And you know, I'm a little short of breath, a little winded, but it wasn't too bad. They do switch back very nicely here, like I've said. And for the most part, I am on top of the ridge now. And just kind of heading over here, and we'll hopefully get to our site here in a little while. But I can tell that was a pretty hefty incline. Of course, I'll have my daily totals at the end of the video, you know, elevation gain, things like that, so you guys can get an idea on what to expect if you come out here. Whew. It's pretty humid all of a sudden this afternoon. Well, evening now. It's actually a little after 5. It's, yeah, about 15 after 5 now. Still got about 4 hours of daylight, so no problem there. But yeah, that humidity is just kicking in really pretty hot and heavy, guys. Pretty area, especially once you get up on the ridge. Down there, you know, it's overgrown. Just walking in a valley, probably a lot nicer in spring or fall, but up here on the ridge, got some very tall trees, very pretty. Really do like it out here. It's very peaceful, very quiet. That almost looks like a campsite. I've seen a couple of spots where there was old fire rings, and I would, you know, assume probably old campsites, but nothing that's probably been used in the last couple of years even. It was interesting. I was walking along that creek bed down there, and there was a section that was kind of dry, and someone has actually built a big fire ring right out in the middle of it, and that may have actually been used recently because it was still pretty charred and didn't look like it had any water or anything flowing through it. So I was kind of like, that's a little weird, because it was right down in the creek bed, mile and a half, 2 miles in. So I mean, it's gonna be somewhere somebody wants to camp. But both banks were really high, like, you know, kind of like this. I mean, you know, 6, 7, 8 feet high both sides. And there was nothing in any direction that I could see where there was a site. So that was kind of unexplainable why somebody would build a big fire ring in the middle of the creek bed. But, you know, you have weird things that happen on trail. But the woods have been very, very quiet, very peaceful, like I said. Other than the cicadas and some birds, I haven't heard hardly anything. And I've been very, very quiet this trip going, except when I'm recording, because I was hoping maybe to see a little bit of wildlife. And I haven't heard or seen anything. So we'll see how that plays out. So I am officially on top of the ridge now. See, it's like the trail goes straight out there. We do have to go under this tree. Haven't seen too many of these where you've had to go under or over, and that's been kind of nice. All right, yeah, trail goes out this way. Hopefully we can ridge walk for a few minutes. I don't want to have to immediately start back down. Yeah, it looks like it might go for a little ways. And then, of course, that goes down on that side now. And I'm sure that's where the, well, I mean, we should be coming up to the ridge trail that I was talking about. So let's see where this leads us. Been up on a ridge now for a few minutes. It's been pretty flat, pretty easy going. You can tell. I mean, and this is the second straightaway I've had kind of like this. It's a gradual incline, nothing super strenuous. It's kind of nice to actually have that after that incline we just had. I mean, I've done worse inclines, but I can definitely tell I haven't been on trail for a little while, guys. The legs are a little tender, but I'm handling it okay. It's pretty good. Making sure I'm keeping a little bit of fluids down so I don't start cramping because of the humidity. Now up on the ridge, it's not quite as humid up here. It's kind of comfortable, but down in that valley, it was pretty humid as I was coming out of there. It's kind of interesting. It's just a row of rocks right in the middle of the trail. Or maybe at one point in time this was some type of road, maybe like a, I don't know, maybe a very, very old logging road or something. Because I think they did log this area at one point in time in the past. I don't know. This is pretty wide open flat, so maybe. It's been interesting. I haven't seen anyone on trail. Haven't heard anyone. Now, when I first was at the trailhead, you know, like I said, there was the cars, but when I come from the trailhead down to the division where I took a right versus going left, as I descended down into the valley, up on the ridge away from me, I heard voices. That's the only time I've heard or seen anyone in the woods. I figure today, especially, I probably won't see too many people, if any. Tomorrow it may pick up. I may see a few people tomorrow because it's Thursday. Especially if someone took a 4-day weekend for Father's Day or something along that line. You know, it's definitely possible. And I'm figuring definitely Friday. And if I'm here Saturday, I'll see people. Because the weekend, people will come in and be wanting to camp and hike. Especially over towards the lake. I'm going away from the lake right now. I wanted this first night to kind of be just out by myself, you know, hopefully not around a lot of people. After tonight, if I see some people, it won't be so bad. I just want that one night where, you know, a little bit more solitude, a little bit more quiet, hopefully. Looks like we got a nice sized down tree up here, right across the big path. I did see another campsite back that direction, a little bit overgrown, but I could actually make camp there if I really, really wanted to. But I'm hoping to get over next to a body of water. It's just more fun that way. Yeah, this looks like a recent blowdown here. A lot of leaves on it and everything. But yeah, it's a recent blowdown. But not a problem to go around. Oh, that's weird. The weirds have just all of a sudden gone very, very quiet. Oh, here we go. There's a bridge. Well, a boardwalk. Kind of like what we saw last time over in that one area. And they had made the improvements through here. Yeah, the cicadas have died down. I hear some birds, but after hearing the cicadas being so loud for so long, it got really quiet. But yeah, this is kind of like what they were doing over in that one area that we came through back in March, only of course it was newer than this. So I guess this kind of gets boggy and marshy as well. So that's kind of cool. Yeah, I'm going to top this hill. Should be coming up on the division shortly, where I can go north, hopefully towards one of these ponds I'm hoping to camp at. Yeah, actually, it's the first time I use my trekking poles. There's some type of concrete or Hear it? I don't know if the GoPro's picking that up very well, but yeah, there's some type of stone underneath this path. And it looks like the woods have just come in and reclaimed it. It's interesting. And as promised, I topped that hill, come down a little ways, and we are now, you can see it, Toaks Ridge Trail, which goes out this way, and we're going north. Let me double check that is north. Should be, but I always want to be safe than sorry. I don't want to get a mile that direction and be like, oh, I went the wrong way. So yeah, I was looking at the map, just double checking. Should be able to go out this direction, maybe 1.25 miles. Should be the first pond. There's actually a loop that this is actually part of, and there's a side trail that goes up to, I believe it's site 6, which is the first pond. I'm going to hit that particular division and see how I feel, whether I just want to go up to that, because it would cut off about 1 mile, or if I just want to go over to site 5 and hit it. I've read both ponds are pretty nice, so I'm not really stressing which one we stay at tonight. And in fact, since I do have a little more limited time than what I wanted, I may not even do this loop and save that for a further trip and just come back out this direction that I'm going right now. And if I go straight right here, that will take us down to, I believe, the Toaks Ridge Trail, or at least the road. I'll hike back the road and get going over towards the lake. Because tomorrow night, I do want to stay beside the lake. I think there's actually a little site over there. It's a little bit older too. A lot of these sites don't look like they've been used much lately. But I also read on the forum, that's one reason I pushed to come over in this direction, that the eastern side of the trails are a little bit less used. Everybody likes going to the lake. You know, if you want a little bit more solitude, you come this direction. So that's where I'm heading. Get my one night of solitude, and then we'll go check out the lake. Which I've yet to see other than driving across the bridge. We had that in the previous video too when we were here back in March. But we should actually get some really good video of it this time and get to check it out. And there's actually a couple of the sites that I might stay at that I might be able to dip my toes a little bit. Who knows? We'll see. This has been flat walking right through here. This is definitely a ridge, but a wide open trail. I mean, it's almost like a service road. I mean, and once again, I mean, yeah, I mean, there's some type of concrete or something underneath this. Definitely once you come off the Axiom Trail onto here, it's been smooth sailing. I mean, if this entire loop, which is the Toaks Ridge loop, is like this, yeah, this is nothing. I mean, this is like basically walking, you know, at your local park. It's all flat and even, and you know, I mean, even with the gravel, the ground's pretty soft. Like I said, I know there's stone underneath it, but the forest has pretty much reclaimed that. So it's kind of neat. I'm actually kind of getting hungry. It's one reason I might just go up to campsite 6 and hit that particular pond, just because I am hungry, guys. I was coming along the trail and it was pretty wide open, and it took a left and it didn't feel right. I checked all trails, it wasn't the way it was supposed to go, and there was a little bitty opening that actually opened up. And I'm taking a 5-minute break, well, 5-second break, just kind of catch my breath, because I came through here, which is all overgrown. I'll show you that tomorrow as I leave, because that's the way I've got to go back out, because this is a one-way trail leading into the site. But this goes straight down that direction, and there should be multiple sites down through here, but I'm gonna take the first one I come to. Should be up here on the left. The lake should be, or the little pond, whatever it is. And as soon as I see that, I'm taking that, as long as there's nobody there. Well, made it to site. It is now 6:30, so definitely got plenty of time to scrounge around for a little bit of wood. There's actually some wood here, if you can't tell. Won't have to get too much. Like I said, the sun won't even go down to about 9:30, 9:45, so maybe an hour or two worth of firewood. Probably won't even need that. But did come up on site. This is site 6. The signpost is right there. And another little pond, guys. Not as clean as I was hoping, but I can get water out of it and filter it. May end up boiling some just to be on the safe side. But kind of cool. A little bit bigger than the last one we were staying at. And this side of the pond is deciduous, but if you look over there, those are pines. I actually started to go over that direction because there should be some sites over there. But I'm like, I saw this big fire ring and places to sit. I don't even have to use my chair tonight. I'm staying right here. And there's a nice flat spot over there for the tent, or I may even put it here. I haven't decided, or maybe even right there. There's plenty of spots, plenty of open area. May not be able to go right here. I'm looking up, seeing some branches right here. They have no leaves on them. Don't want those to come down on my head. But over on this side, looks like it's pretty clear. So probably going to be looking on this side of the campsite. But I'm in for the night. Time to get set up. Actually, I'm probably going to grab me a quick snack. Then we're going to get set up, guys. So it's about 15 after 7. Got the site generally set up. Air mattress is in there. Sleeping bags in there. Got the tent up. Got everything kind of stretched out so I can see what I'm going to do with the rest of the stuff for the night. Probably going to be doing dinner shortly. My lunch for today was supposed to be a couple of spam blocks and a couple of baby bells. I ate the baby bells. I'm just going to hang on to the spam blocks. I might just use those for lunch tomorrow and throw another piece of cheese with them, something like that. I'm just going to skip that for now and just go straight in and make my dinner. But yeah, I've got everything set up. There is the Xmid one-person tent by Drop. Designed by Dan Durston, guys. I have a video of this up on YouTube already. You can go check that out. But this is it. Actually set up. First night on trail, guys. Like I said, haven't been able to get out too much, but I'm out now. We're going to give that tent a good try this next 2-3 nights. See what I think about it. May even see a good thunderstorm. Hopefully on Thursday or Friday night. And once again, the pond. Listen to the sounds. Lots of frogs, guys. I really hope they die down after dark because it's going to be very loud otherwise trying to sleep tonight. I may have music playing most of the night. Luckily, I do have plenty of battery bank. I should be okay for the trip. Even getting here, my phone only used about 40% of the battery it had. So that wasn't too bad. Was a decent little hike today. Put those totals up right here for elevation and distance. And yeah, pretty fun. Real nice area so far. I really enjoyed the seclusion over here. I haven't heard anybody. I am hearing a couple of vehicles out this direction, so I would assume there's a road out that way, but you know, nothing that's really that big a deal or pressing. But as far as people, nothing going so far. So that's been kind of nice. Just be a little bit of solitude, a little bit of seclusion. I'm going to break some of these sticks up, maybe cut this branch up a little bit, just to get me a little bit of wood, maybe start at about 8:30, 9 o'clock. Actually, maybe wait till 9:30 and just burn it for an hour and a half, hit the sack about 11, and see if we can get us an early start tomorrow and really roll out some miles tomorrow and head over towards the lake. Because like I said, I really would like to camp at the lake tomorrow night if nothing possible. This is very dense woods. Not a lot of overgrowth, but a lot of trees. And there's, you know, the hardwood mixed in with the softwood, you know, the pines and the deciduous and everything's mixed in here. Really pretty thick. And once again, you know, talking about keeping the site 100 feet off the trail and, you know, 100 feet away from water and such. Well, if you notice, that's the trail. Going out that direction. Ladies and gentlemen, site 6 is nowhere near 100 feet again. Just like I said last time, it's just kind of funny. I don't have a problem with it. I mean, that's one reason I put the tent on the other side of the site. It's a little bit further away from the site, the trail. So, you know, that way if somebody would happen to come through, I won't have to worry about dealing with them. But, yeah, and of course, definitely, you know, 25-30 feet at the most away from water. So it's just really interesting. I'm kind of eager to see what some of these other sites I might be looking at are going to be like. I know there's one I've seen online. I actually saw somebody do YouTube. See, site 6, guys, right there. But watched them do YouTube, and they were talking about the site, and it was literally 20 feet from the lake. So, you know, and this is a designated site. Now this is kind of cool. This goes back around here. I would assume maybe there's more sites out that way. I know there's a number of sites in the area. This is the official site, which is one reason I went ahead and stayed there, because I kind of like getting that flavor of the official site. I don't mind doing the other sites, but plus I was kind of like, you know, why hike more than I have to? But yep, site set up. I'm probably going to do dinner in the next 15-20 minutes. Get that going. While that's cooking and getting ready, I think I'll get this wood kind of processed up. I'll look around, see maybe I can find a few more pieces, especially some smaller stuff to get it started. This is probably all I'm going to use for the night. I mean, I'm just going to do a small little twig fire, nothing major. There's no reason to do a big fire. I mean, you know, it's still in the 80s right now, and it's quite comfortable, so there's no reason to do a big fire to stay warm. The only reason you would do a big fire is just to have fun. Well, I'm out here by myself. I'm planning on doing a lot of hiking tomorrow, so no big fire tonight. I don't intend to stay up. Like I said, probably, I mean, I've been up since, give or take, 7 o'clock. Yeah, 11 o'clock I'll be ready for bed, especially if I'm doing the hike today. But I'm really eager to see what it's going to be like sleeping inside the Exmit here, because I haven't had a chance to do that. Actually, in fact, that entire setup in there is brand new. It's a brand new sleeping bag, brand new air mattress. The only thing I've got is, of course, the Trekology pillow that I've been using for about 2 years now. So everything else is brand new. So we're going to give this a try. First time I've ever used a one-person tent, too, as well. Normally I do a two-person. Kind of wanted something a little bit lighter, a little bit more compact, a little bit smaller footprint when I'm on trails, something a little bit easier to set up. And so far, that fits all the bills. Now I did, in addition to having the tent, I did purchase a $10 little liner. Basically, it's you know, a ground sheet that I have under there. I mean, if I'm gonna pay $220 for a tent, I want to protect it, you know, that way I can use it for years to come. You know, why take a chance? I figured I'd throw a ground sheet under there. It took an extra 2 minutes, no big deal. Extra 4 really tiny stakes. I think it cost me like an extra 12 grams of weight. So for a little, well, between the ground sheet and the stakes, it was like literally like 3 ounces, 4 ounces, something like that. So just have peace of mind. Plus the thing is, I don't want to puncture my air mattress or anything like that be out here. It just gives you that extra layer of protection. So, you know, that's a give or take. Some people do it, some people don't. That's your choice. My choice is I want a ground sheet. So, but yeah, it's dinner time on the trail, guys. I think I'm gonna do tacos. It's about 9:15. Sun's starting to go down. Sky's still pretty bright out over the pond, but back here in the woods, it's pretty dark. I've got everything taken care of. Done ate dinner, brushed my teeth, got my contacts out already, as you can tell. My eyes were a little irritated. I think there's some pollen in the air here, and it's kind of bothering my allergies a little bit, but you know, no big deal. But for the most part, it's been a pretty good day. I got everything kind of stowed away. I'm just gonna about ready to kickstart this fire, get it going probably for maybe an hour, just to relax a few minutes, and then I'm heading to bed. I'm pretty tired. It really did get to me today, where I haven't been backpacking quite so much. And yeah, if you can tell, I'm holding my LED lamp in front of me. My attachment that goes on my GoPro broke, so I'm going to have to do that this trip and then just buy something new when I get home. It's not a big bill. Actually, I have a piece I can attach to this tripod, so I won't even have to buy anything. It's just a matter of doing it. But yeah, been a good trip so far. And definitely, like I said, walk out this direction. If you can tell, gets much lighter. I mean, the sky is still pretty much lit up. It's just back in the woods, it's starting to get pretty dark. See back that direction. The frogs are still pretty noisy. Not quite as bad as they were, but occasionally they come in and get real loud, and then they kind of slack off. So kind of hope maybe that dies down. I mean, I don't mind if they make a little bit of noise throughout the night, but you know, if they continue to be extremely loud, that's going to be interesting trying to rest. But I just figured I'd give you an update on the night, and like I said, probably going to get this fire going here in a minute and then just relax for a few minutes and then get ready for bed. Got a big day of hiking tomorrow. So guys, it's about 11 o'clock. I've let the fire die down to embers. I'm getting ready to put some water on it before I go to bed. That way I don't have to worry about starting a fire in the middle of the night. The frogs have quietened it down. They come in occasionally in spurts and get a little loud, but for the most part, I think it's going to be something I'm going to be able to sleep comfortably through the night with. Guys, if you've enjoyed the video, make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to check out my Instagram and my Facebook. I'll go ahead and put the links right there as well. If you guys do comment on the video, I'll definitely get back to you as fast as possible. With trips coming up, may not be immediate, but as soon as I can, I will definitely respond to your comments. Always remember to live your grand adventure to the fullest, guys. I'll see you in the next video, which will be tomorrow for me on the trail. Take care until then.